Kariboleng walaining odile no Sim FM kajinano na shipai eno lendilai nagra yake erishata emai sosionoto kuna sai enteiba. Kariboleng engidesheni eno Sim FM.
A very good evening to you and a warm welcome to the #1 early evening show on the dial. It is time for the Sunset Love, the Sundowner show on KBC English Service with me, Catherine Ndonye.
Natumai huna neno msikilizaji popote pale ulipo. Jumatano ya leo ya tarehe 11 mwezi Februari mwaka 2026. Karibu ndani ya KBC Radio Taifa Sauti ya Mkenya. Mimi hapa niite Cynthia Anyango, tutakuwa nawe kuanzia mwendo wa saa 4 hadi saa 7 majira ya Afrika ya Mashariki. Usibanduke popote pale ulipo.
There we have it. Those are our radio queens. And as we had mentioned earlier on the show, we are about celebrating radio this entire week. We get to celebrate World Radio Day on the 13th of February. That will be on Friday. But throughout the whole week, throughout this week rather, beginning from Monday, we have been celebrating radio right here on KBC. And as you have seen, you know, as you've heard from the queens themselves, just to get a feel of how they get to do their thing when they are on the other side of studio, that is the radio side. We have I think more than 20 radio stations right here in KBC, and it is a pleasure to get to host these ones here, these queens here, so that we get to have a feel of how it has been for them throughout the years that they have been on radio. Now, radio is one of the most influential mediums of communication, you know, widely spread, and they are among the people who get to inform us, get to entertain us, and get to educate us as well. They've already introduced themselves, so I won't do much of the introduction. They have already done that. You know, we have a presenter from NOSIM, English Service, and of course, Radio Taifa. And I just want to begin from just by knowing where it all began for you. Can you remember your very first day on air? Let me begin with you, Nashipai. Can you remember your first day on air and how was that like for you?
My first day on air was actually, I was being hosted on English Service. I went for a field work. I did a feature story, then I came back and now I was reporting what that was like for me. So it was an interesting experience, but a very nice one because it got to expose me now before I joined NOSIM FM to actually host the show myself. So it was enlightening and really interesting to actually pass out the information. Sitting there and being the center of attention was a huge responsibility, but all in all, I thank God because I delivered.
Yeah. Catherine Ndonye, you have been on a show that has been, I mean, the longest surviving shows. I don't know if it's the actual longest, but one of the longest surviving shows on air. That is a Sundowner. Your voice, I am sure everyone recognizes your voice out here. Just how has that been like for you? And if you can just take us back to when it all began for you. You know, did you know that you were going to be someone who will be on radio? Was that your dream from the beginning?
From the beginning, I tell people I'm one of those very few people, or very few children, who dream of becoming something and they become exactly it. So I was fortunate. I loved radio since I was a child. It was my companion. Fast forward to my very first day on air, very different from Purity's. Mine was not a day to celebrate. It was brutal. It was brutal being on air for the first day. I did not start as an on-air presenter, like live presenter, because I was pretty young. I was very nervous. I started radio when literally the whole country would be listening to you. There was no liberalized airwaves where people have a choice. This was a station where you know very well, including everybody in the country, including the president, if they need to listen to radio, it is your station that they will tune into. So subconsciously, you know, man, I'm being listened to. I was so young, so shy, so afraid. So it was brutal, it was difficult. I would even forget my name. I would open the microphone and forget what my name is, you know. So it was difficult. for me. Yeah, but as time went on, I got the hang of it, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yes.
Here you are now, several years later. How many years?
Not several, many. It's 3 lifetimes. It's a whole lifetime.
Yeah.
In August this year, I'll have been on radio for 30 years.
3 decades.
Yes, I'm 29 years old in the business.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you.
Alafu sasa naye tunaye Simpi. Hapa sasa ni Kiswahili pale inaborogwa, you know? Inateremka kisawasawa. Simpi, we know you from Zinga back in the day with Boni Msambi, right?
Yes.
Alafu sasa hivi bado uko pale ndio, lakini pia sasa umeingia kwenye production side of it. Just, you know, story yako iko tofauti na ya Cynthia na ya Shipai ya Catherine rather na ya Shipai, ama story yako iko tofauti kivipi?
Story yangu iko tofauti kidogo kwa sababu mimi kabla nije hapa nilitoka kule Mombasa. Lakini kusema ule ukweli nitasema kwamba KBC ndio imenikuza, na pia jina langu la Cynthia limesikika sana wakati nikiwa hapa KBC. Nakumbuka kwamba nilikuja tarehe 1 mwezi Aprili mwaka wa 2011, kumaanisha miaka karibu 15 iliyopita. Kwa hivyo hata mimi pia namfukuzia Catherine unyo kwa unyo.
Uko nusu yake sasa.
Niko nusu yake sasa. Kabisa, na nipokuja ndio nikaingizwa kwa kipindi cha Zinga. Kusema ule ukweli kilikuwa kipindi kizito sana kwangu, kwa sababu Mombasa si unajua kwamba ilikuwa inasikika tu ni ya regional station, so inasikika tu mahali fulani, lakini sasa nimekuja KBC unasikika pande zote za taifa letu la Kenya. Haikuwa rahisi, lakini nikasema kwamba lazima tujikakamue. Si tumesema kwamba tunataka kazi na tunapenda kazi yetu, kwa hivyo lazima tujikakamue, na nikajikakamua mpaka saa hizi niko hapa, na nashukuru sana kwa sababu KBC imenijenga mimi hapa kama Cynthia Nyango. Kabisa.
So since radio began, that is way back, you know, from the colonial days, radio has really evolved over the years. Sasa hivi pia tuko na, you know, radio stations in our dialect languages, you know. Sasa kuna za kila kabila Kenya hii. Sidhani kama kuna kabila ambayo hakuna radio station yake. Kwanza hapa KBC kuna radio station ya kila kabila ambayo unafikiria. I mean, kuna radio station ya Kimasai, unajua. So for you na Shipai, being that you are now a presenter, you know, of your local dialect, just how would you say you felt that impacting, you know, the community?
Being the voice of the community is a huge honor and a huge responsibility. Being behind the microphone is not just about just being there. You know, you're the voice of the people. I'm not just presenting a show when I'm there, you know. I'm carrying the stories, the values, and the realities of my people. Being that voice means listening carefully, you know, speaking the truth, always remembering that someone out there feels like they belong, because no Sim FM speaks their language. So it's a huge responsibility, not a light one. Yeah.
So that has really impacted a lot, you know, in terms of, you know, the community outreaches and all of that. I'm sure sasa unajua tumeingia kule mashinani kabisa, which is a good thing.
Yes. Being there means people are watching you. The community is watching you. Girls who are growing up are watching me. We have done a lot trying to impact the community. We actually go to schools when we can. We entertain the kids. We actually show them that you have a future beyond just this place. Just to give you a short example. Girls in my community, it is very unfortunate, but it is still there. Early marriage is not just a story. It still exists. And it is not just forced. Some actually want to. It has come to my attention that most of us feel like after high school, you feel like you get married. High school is the dream. Get married after that, and that's it. But now being here means people get to see me. Girls get to see me and know that there is a future ahead. It is not just about getting to high school and getting married. That alone, if I don't get to impact any other thing, that alone means a lot to me, because my fellow girls from the community get to experience and learn a lot and get a brighter future.
I love that. I love that. And there's nothing as good as just seeing, you know, just getting to see someone who's come from your place and is doing this thing, you know. So it shows you that it is possible, it can be done. So you're doing an amazing job on that. Now, Catherine, you know, with a career spanning over now almost 3 decades, I'm sure you have gotten to witness all these changes that we're talking about, Matters Radio. And with the era that we're living in right now, it's the era of technology, it's the era of social media, it's the era of podcasts now. What would you say has made radio remain standing? Because as much as there are all these other mediums, I mean, radio still stands strong.
Radio remains the king when it comes to broadcasting. Some people might not know, but at KBC, the regional stations did not start with the FM stations. When I was joining KBC, Kimasai was being broadcast from Broadcasting House here. It was, I think, in the central station where Kikamba was also being broadcast from, and Kiembu. So the regional stations have been there because it has also been a national duty from back in the day for the public broadcaster to broadcast important information in our vernacular stations. Fast forward to the era of technology. The beauty of radio. I mean, radio is just the most beautiful thing that will ever happen in the media sector, because radio is versatile. It is so dynamic. You know, some people would have thought, by 2026, radio will have died, because after all, there is so much coming up. The beauty of radio is that it patches itself on whatever technology that appears. You see, how many people right now are on the road, driving, going places? Then they can't watch TV, but they can listen to radio in their cars, on their phones.
What are you saying
bring
about
internet.
Tread carefully.
Internet comes, we patch ourselves, we create live stream. So you can, now it's even better. Now the deal is even better, because I'm being listened to by Kenyans who are in the diaspora, who love Sundowner. They did not have that opportunity before technology came. So I think, used positively, technology has just been carrying radio with it. We are not strugglers. We are not struggling to reach the people.
It just happened.
TV, you have problems.
My director, can you off my mic? If you can just off Catherine's mic for me. Well, I mean, Cynthia, you know, kuna watu ambao huwa wanasema ni kuongea tu. I mean, radio, nani hawezi kufanya radio? Unaenda tu unaongea tu, ni kuongea tu. What would you say concerning that, and just giving us a feel of what goes on behind the scenes? No mtu asione kama mnatokea tu mnaongea tu then mnaenda home.
Ni ukweli kabisa, Vivian. Watu wengi wanasema kwamba kazi yenu si ngumu. Kazi yenu ni rahisi, wewe ni kuamka tu na kwenda kazini na kuongea. Lakini sasa hajui unaenda kuongea nini. Ndio, wewe nikikupatia nafasi uongee, utaongea nini? Unaona? Maanake radio si kuamka tu na kwenda kuongea. Lazima katika kipindi changu kuanzia Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa kuna zile segments. Najua kwamba Jumatatu nitazungumza ABCD. Na katika hayo mazungumzo lazima niwe na mpangilio. Leo kama nazungumza kuhusiana na masuala ya wanawake na uongozi, vile umetweeta hapa. Nikileta kiongozi mwanamke, nafaa nimuulize maswali ya aina gani? Lazima niwe na background information kumuhusu huyo mwanamke pale, kama ni wa biashara vile vile, unaona. Pia muziki ule ambao tunaupeleka hewani, lazima muziki pia ni content. Kwa hivyo lazima pia nicheze muziki ambao ni mzuri. Siwezi kwenda tu nikacheza muziki tu hivi. Kama mimi mwenyewe sitapendezewa na ule muziki, yule msikilizaji anaweza kupendezewa na huo muziki kweli? Kwa hivyo si mambo na kuamka na kwenda. Radio ni ngumu na inahitaji research kali sana. Alafu pia vile vile pale kwenye zile machine, unafikiria tu unakuja tu unazungumza kwa kitu kama hichi. Kuna mashini pale, na zile mashini lazima uzijulie vile ambavyo zinakuwa operated, pad ndio uweze kuoperate vizuri. Wakati wa mziki uweke mziki, wakati wa kuzungumza uzungumze, wakati wa kuweka pia matangazo ya biashara uweke kwa wakati ufaao, kwa sababu yule mtu ambao amelipa pesa zake ndio biashara ziende, anaweza kulalamika, mbona biashara yangu haijaenda na ilhali nimelipia. Kwa hivyo wewe ndio utakuwa na shida. Kwa hivyo redio si rahisi, si rahisi kabisa, ina changamoto nyingi na lazima pia ujipange vilivyo, sio uende tu ukazungumza. Utazungumza nini? Kama ni kuhusu current affairs, lazima pia ujue masuala ambayo yanahusu taifa letu la Kenya. Usiende pale msikilizaji labda ni mwerevu kukuliko aku challenge pale, itakuwa sasa wewe pia unapoteza kazi yako.
Can I add something onto that before I lose that train of thought?
Yes.
Radio is not easy. But I will not speak, because these days we have 1,000,001 radio producers and presenters. Anybody who can speak, they think they can do radio. But any radio journalist, any radio producer or presenter knows that radio is double work. I'll come back to TV. You see, on TV, we can see the picture.
Yeah.
You just need now to fill us in with the voice, the sound. But on radio, your work is double. You have to create the picture in the mind of the listener.
That's true.
So radio is double work. It's very difficult. Back in the day, our trainers told us 80% of our time should go into preparation. People think, like I host Sundown, it's just, music. It's not like that. I've had people ask me, why do you come so early? I mean, your show is at 5. What are you doing here at midday? If I do not prepare, I don't have a show. Back in the day, there's one radio programs manager who told me, because back in the day, music had to be bought in the shop. You had to walk to a shop to buy music. Told me, you don't just walk in there and play songs. Play me a song I would walk into a shop and buy. And that has never left my mind. You don't just sit there and play anything. It has to have substance. It has to make an impact on whoever is listening. So radio is hard work. Yes, it's not for the faint-hearted.
Nashipa, you have something to add?
Yeah, I've actually had people visiting the studio and telling you, kazi yenyu ni rahisi sana. And you're like, if you knew how much work we put into this. And being in a vernacular station, I'm the presenter, I'm the producer of the show, I am the one who decides the music I play on the show. So it's double work. Nobody tells me, play this, do this, don't do this. No, it is up to me to decide. So I'm telling you, I'm seated there for 4-5 hours, talking, addressing matters. I have to look for a topic of discussion, find a guest maybe. Before you find a guest, you have to be conversant with what you're talking about. Even if you're not a doctor, you're hosting a doctor, you have to know what you're saying. So it becomes double work. It is a lot of attention. You're using few hours, but you're exerting too much force. You're using your brain, you're using your hands, you're using your eyes on all those computers in front of you, all those mixers in front of you. So it is a very, very challenging job. Nobody will understand unless they actually sit on that chair. Yeah.
I totally agree with all of you, because it's the same also on TV. It's not like we just come and we start talking. That's why I usually have a book even, because you need to do your research. You know? You get to interview a doctor. You are not a doctor, so you need to do your research on the topic of conversation that you're doing. So I definitely do get you. Now, Catherine, you are the person who, allows us to feel the nostalgia, and all of that with Sundowner. Do you have a personal Sunset song?
If I say I have one particular song, I'll be lying. As we speak, I can't count how many times I've played a song and told the people, that's my favorite song. It's a lie. There is so much good music. There is so much good music, So it is so difficult. Every song is a #1 song. Every song is a #1 song. So a lot of times you have a variety that is just so good. So you give credit everywhere because it's deserved everywhere.
So I don't have any
I have
specific
few songs
ones.
I can say those ones they
mention some of them.
Ukiwa ndani ya nyumba pia unaimba.
There are songs that were done by musicians collectively. Like for instance in the USA, we have USA for Africa who came together to sing for charity back in 81 or 85 in Ethiopia, and they did We Are the World. Now that is a song and a half. It is not just a song. It's a mountain of a song. And that is why I guess they produced that, you saw that film on Netflix, The Greatest Night in pop history. The greatest of the world coming together to produce in one night, producing a song. And Canadian musicians also came up with their song. It's called Tears Are Not Enough by the Northern Lights. They called themselves the Northern Lights. So those two songs mean a lot to me, including others.
Okay, okay. What was that one live, you know, a live moment in studio rather, your live moment that has stuck with you? Yani, that time, something that has still stuck with you.
In studio?
Yeah, a live moment that happened.
Okay, nilipokuwa Zinga kipindi cha asubuhi tulikuwa tunahoji watu wengi sana. Kusema ule ukweli, maanake ni platform ambayo imetufanya tukaalika watu kadhaa wenye tabaka mbalimbali na watu ambao ni mashuhuri kusema ule ukweli, watu ambao huwafikiria kwamba siku moja unaweza kwa nini kuwahoji. Sasa siku moja kinara wa ODM marehemu Raila Amolo Odinga alikuja studioni. Unajua Raila Amolo Odinga alikuwa na vipasho, acha niseme vipasho. Yani unaweza kumfanyisha interview lakini at the same time anaweza akakupatia backlash nyingine ya kimataifa. Akakuaibisha wewe ambao unamfanyia interview. Ni kweli. Hiyo siku alikuja na tulikuwa na mwenzangu Boni, tukamfanyisha tu interview vizuri. Lakini akatuchapa na jambo moja kali sana hapo. Tuliishia kujicheka sisi wenyewe. Lakini sasa hilo ndio jambo ambalo nalikumbuka mpaka leo na ni miaka mingi sana kusema ule kweli, lakini pia moments nzuri kuinterview watu kama kina Musalia Mudavadi, kuinterview kina watu kama Eugene Wamalwa. Unajua yani hapo pia hadhi yako ama status yako inaongezeka kwa kiasi fulani. Kwa hivyo hiyo pia ndio raha ya redio. Wanakuja waliomo na wasiomo.
Your live on air moment that has stuck with you?
Live on air moments, I will say a certain phone call. When you're taking phone calls, it's a really risky thing because you can't control what the other person is going to say on air. Our people have a tendency of oversharing or overusing the time. That is just one. But now there's one person who would call. He's listening, yes, but you're speaking one thing and they're saying a different thing. So you're left wondering, do I go along with what he's saying, or do I get him back to the trail of, you know, what we are talking about? So it becomes really tough because this is somebody elderly, of course, you can hear from the voice. This is somebody elderly, you don't know what to do. Sometimes you just let them speak and finish what they are saying so that you can get back to what you are doing, like nothing happened, because there's nothing you can do there on air.
Personal discretion is everything. So we are forced to think on our feet when we are on air. Because anything can happen. Mine is not a specific aha moment. Like I can pinpoint and say, on this day, such a thing happened. A lot of things have happened. But it's a time, when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, you know, radio brought us up. As teenagers, we relied on the radio for everything. Because radio gave factual information. There was one program that used to feature, it was a youth program. It was called the Youth Variety Show. And it used to feature youth reproductive health and everything a teenager would like to know, be it adolescence, puberty, you know, health, nutrition. So there would be doctors and psychiatrists and you know, counselors. It used to be hosted by, at least when I was a teenager, it used to be hosted by Elizabeth Omolo and John Karani that time. Now, as a teenager, I couldn't miss that program. I could not miss that program for anything.
Yeah.
It was, they seemed to be talking about everything I wanted to hear and to know. All the questions were being answered.
Yeah.
So I come to KBC and I meet my mentors here, John Karani being one of them, Elizabeth Omolo being the mother of broadcasting.
Yeah.
And then, after not so long, the program is still airing. So I am picked to present the program with John Karani. I had reached heaven.
I can imagine.
I had arrived.
Yeah.
I had arrived in heaven. So that one I can say was the peak of my time at KBC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, you know, as a radio presenter, you are part of your listeners' life.
Yes.
Every single day.
Yes.
I mean, radio is part of the listeners' lives. There are people who, whatever they do, they have a radio by their side. Hata yule ambaye yuko shambani yalima, akona radio yake hapo kando, wajua yosikiliza. So you're part of your listeners' daily living and life. Just, does that come with a lot of responsibility? Do you feel like, okay, now this, sometimes do you think about it? Do you think about it that way? Because I can only imagine, you're part of these people's lives every single day. Yani you're part of their routine. Does it, what type of responsibility is that?
You see, you are giving us the answer. Because we actually stop living our lives.
Yeah.
Because you cannot separate yourself. Again, I repeat, if you are a presenter or producer worth your salt, whenever you are starting a program idea or you are preparing for your program, there's something called a program proposal. Now, in that proposal, there is a segment where you write the objective, underline it, put it in bold. If you're walking into a studio, what are you coming there to do? In half an hour after you've been there, or 1 hour, what will the listener have achieved after you've been there for 1 hour?
Yep.
That is now the problem with today's broadcasting, which I can pinpoint, where I feel we dropped the ball.
Okay.
There are people who will walk into a studio, you will tune into their show, but at the end of it, you are a bit confused. You don't know what you gained. So us, we are burdened with that. One time, because there's something I introduced on Sundowner, inspiration, motivation, because I gathered that, yeah, we like to be very glamorous on the media. We pretend everybody is enjoying life out there.
Okay.
But I thought to myself, and I was like, at the end of every day, it's not everybody who's had a good day.
That's true.
So can I just come in and talk to somebody who's not had a good day? And one day I met a guy, he's actually Maasai. He told me he was Maasai. He came very far to meet me. He told me, Catherine, you saved my life. I'm supposed to be dead by now. He had a notebook where he was working. He worked in something that looked like a strong room, where it was a very small room, and that was the only place he could sit because he's handling very sensitive matters.
Yeah.
He has to be brought food in that room. So he had a notebook where he wrote everything I said. That's when I was like, okay, we don't talk in vain. So you need to be very careful what you do
What you say.
on air.
Yeah.
You are saving a life, you are impacting a life. If you will have stayed in a studio for 3 hours and you come out and you've not impacted life, my friend, get another job. Get
That is
another
not your
job.
profession.
You agree with that?
Kabisa.
Responsibility yani ambayo inakuja nayo.
Yes.
Ni kubwa
Majukumu,
sana.
yeah.
Majukumu ni makubwa sana. Mwanzo yule msikilizaji ana expectations nyingi sana kutoka kwetu. Anaona mtu kama Cynthia, Catherine na Shipai, hawa ni watu ambao hawana shida. Unaelewa? Sasa mtu saa nyingine uko on air, unafanya tu kipindi vizuri, anapiga simu, anakuambia bwana, mtoto wangu ni mgonjwa, amelazwa hospitalini. Hatujakula siku 3, mtoto wangu hana school fees. Anatarajia nini? Anatarajia wewe labda umtumie pesa, apeleke mtoto hospitali ama apeleke mtoto shuleni. Kwa hivyo picha kule nje ni tofauti sana. alafu sasa ndio maana inafanya hata watu wengine wanaishi maisha ambayo si yao. Kwa sababu mimi hapa unafikiria kwamba labda Cynthia ana pesa mpaka ana gari kubwa, kumbe mimi mwenyewe hata sina hata gari ndugu yangu. Ukiniona kule ukiniona kule stage napanda gari, washangaa kwani Cynthia pia apanda matatu. Tunafikiria kwamba yofanya pale, tunamfikiza kwa redio, ana pesa, ana mali. Unaona, kwa hivyo yani matarajio ni mengi na makubwa kule nje.
Alright, my director is telling me we are running out of time. We have around just 1 minute now. Na angependelea tufunge kipindi pamoja vile vile tulivyoanza, you know. So you do your outro, and you do your outro. Let us begin with Catherine this time round.
Well, it's been 2 hours of nothing but the very best of the golden oldies on Sundowner. We're coming to the end of the Sunset Land, and it's been lovely hosting you on this show. I hope you have reason to be back tomorrow, because God willing, I'll be back. There's more where that came from. And by the way, on Friday, Sundowner is live from Kenya Broadcasting Corporation as we mark World Radio Day.
All right.
Thank you.
Subo lengo lining on ile no sim FM kaito ya kajo ya show link tankara kini kiria mariana iterudo sana udo endama omera shekuna sai enteva a show link tankara gina simu ino noni tosho a shitankara kilo monfokin liki magidatu aguna sai endama kindo gina katumo enkolonge juma matababu wakine kajolo mone KBC abonuna adua ki ilaini ningok ashu la seraklo lomon lenkajolo mone KBC ilomon tenewoji tankajolo mon KBC karibuni oleng na kija shitankara gi lidia yoko mita shina kuna sai enteva.
Cynthia na Vivian, pia kabla sijamaliza ni kwamba tunaalika pia wasikilizaji wetu waje hapa, manake tuna sherehe kubwa sana ya World Radio Day. Haya, natumai kwamba msikilizaji nimalizie, si ndio?
Maliza.
Imekuwa fahari yangu kubwa msikilizaji kuwa nawe kuanzia mwendo wa saa 4 hadi sasa mwendo wa saa 7 majira ya Afrika Mashariki. Tupatane hapo kesho panapo majaliwa yake Maulana. Endelea kutegea KBC Radio Taifa, sauti ya Mkenya. Ni mimi wako Cynthia Nyango. Kwaheri kwa sasa.
All right, and that is how we wind up the show. You have already heard from the radio queens. We will be having a party on Friday right here on or rather at the broadcasting house. You are all welcome to just come party with your radio favorites.